Welcome to the Shoestring CMO. I'm business coach Wendy Lawson, and I help micro business owners quintuple, that means 5 times, their marketing impact on 5 hours a week or less while operating on a shoestring budget. So if you have big goals, but not a lot of money and not a lot of time, you are in the right place. Now, in this video series, I'm covering the 10 different promotional strategies that you can use in your marketing. And today we're talking about contesting and sampling. But before you decide to implement a contesting or sampling strategy, just like all the other strategies, I want to remind you of the 3 questions that you need to ask first. Number 1, can this strategy support my sales goals? Remember, marketing exists to support sales. So if this strategy can't help you make more money, it's not the right strategy for you. Number 2, is this strategy a good way to connect with my buyer persona, ideal client, target market? If it's not the right strategy for you. And in fact, it needs to be one of the top 2 or 3 strategies because you have limited time. So you really want to pay attention to, is it one of the best ways to connect with your ideal client or buyer persona? And then number 3, is this strategy within my budget? Some strategies cost nothing. Some cost a little, some cost a lot. You want to make sure that before you decide to implement any strategy, that it works for your budget. So contesting and sampling. I will tell you, customers, consumers, prospects, they love when a marketer activates a contesting or sampling strategy. For a simple reason, think about yourself. When you go to the grocery store, can you pass up the free sample of cheese from the nice little lady at the end of the aisle? Of course you can't. If you're like me, of course you can't. Nobody can pass up those samples. We love us some free samples, right? So when you think about contesting and sampling, it would seem like that would be counterintuitive to something a marketer would want to do because you're giving away your product or service for free. You're not making any money on it. However, the value that you receive as a marketer is far greater than whatever the profit margin was on the product you gave away. So let's look at the difference between sampling and contesting to see if these are good, if this would be a good strategy for you. So sampling really involves giving away typically a mini version of your product or service for free. There's no strings attached. It's not buy this and get this. Sampling is typically there's no strings attached. I'm giving you a sample so you can get a little taste of how good this product is. If you do video courses, if you're a coach or you are somehow in the training space, this could be giving someone a sample of a course, giving them one lesson or giving them one chapter of your ebook. If you sell a product, then this could be a mini version of your product. But when we think about how to effectively use samples and how this strategy can work for you, some of the benefits of using a sampling strategy is the first one is really gaining exposure for a new product or service. So if you have something brand new that you're taking to market and you've never tested it out, getting some exposure from new customers, samples can be a great way to do that. And this is so powerful because when we think about word of mouth advertising, right? If I say my product is amazing, you're like, well, okay, but it's your job to sell the product. But if Betty over here says, OMG, this product that Wendy made is amazing, you're going to trust her more than you're going to trust me, right? Even if you don't know her. That's why we love seeing Amazon reviews. That's why we love seeing reviews on websites, right? Because we trust strangers, particularly if they're similar to us, if they're in a similar space as us, if they're the same age as us, or have the same problems as us. So when we get that word of mouth advertising, that can be incredibly powerful. Now, also, if this is a new product, getting that customer feedback can be invaluable. If no one's tested the product, if no one's tried it out, if it hasn't been field tested, you might think it's brilliant. You might think it's exactly what your ideal client or your buyer persona is looking for. But when you give it to them and put it in their hands, they're going to give you feedback that is invaluable. They're going to tell you exactly what they liked about it or what they didn't like about it or what they would change. They're going to tell you anything that they're going to give you information that you can use to make the product and the marketing just a little bit better. And finally, this is probably the most powerful, is when you give someone a sample, you're eliminating the fear factor for your prospects, right? It's scary. It's scary to try something new. And the higher the price, the more resistance there will be to make that purchase, because we don't want to make the wrong purchase. We don't want to spend money on something we don't need to. If it's cost me $500 and I hope that it's the right product for me, but I don't really know, I've never tasted it, I've never seen it, then there's resistance there, right? There's friction. I'm less likely to make that purchase. But if you give me a little taste, you give me a little sample of it, and I realize, yes, this is exactly what I want. It tastes, smells, looks exactly like what I want. It's the right product that's going to solve my problem. Now you've helped eliminate that fear factor for me. So those are the ways that a sampling strategy can be powerful. Now, contesting is a little bit different in that you're not just giving away your product, but you're providing an opportunity for someone to win something of value, which could be typically a full-size product or some sort of enhanced version of something that you offer. So even though not everyone will win, right, there's enough incentive to try to win because the prize is so valuable. So it's the perceived value in the consumer's eyes make them willing to trade their email address, trade making a purchase, writing a review, writing a testimonial, referring other people to you, right? It's the value that they could receive, even though it's not guaranteed. They're willing to take that chance because the value is so great. So really, the primary benefits of running a contest are to grow your audience or to engage your audience, to get them engaged and fired up and sharing and bringing more potential customers to you, more prospects to you. So one caveat I will say, if you're doing any contesting, just make sure that you are aware of any local rules and regulations, because you want to make sure that you are following the letter of the law. Don't be a lawbreaker, okay? So I want to know, tell me in the comments, is contesting or sampling, is that a strategy that you're going to use in your upcoming marketing plans? Tell me. And then if you have not already, I hope you have, but if you have not already, now would be a great time to subscribe to this channel and make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss the next video in this series. Keep on rocking, superstar, and I'll see you next time. Goals for your small business, but you've got a lot of time. Oh, for crying out loud. Even Larry the cat is like looking at me like, what are you doing, lady? Is this your first day recording videos? What's happening? If you are some sort of